Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on HTML form elements. And right now, we'll be discussing about the HTML form input element. One of the most used form element is the input element. The HTML input element can be displayed in several ways, depending on the type attribute specified in it. In our previous tutorial, we have discussed about this input element and different types you can specify in it. And we have also discussed about this label attribute, this label element also. You can check our previous tutorial on HTML form input. We have a playlist on that HTML form input playlist. You can check it for you to know deep things about the HTML input types. So now I'm going to show you some tricks and tips about this input element along with some things you can do with it. Quickly, let's get back to our document. As you can see, this is empty right now. Let's get back to the code. As you can see, this code is empty right now. Now, inside our body tag, let's create a form. Our form is not having action right now. We don't need it for now. Just need input. Let's give it 3 input. Let's just say times 3. We need 3 input. So after these 3 inputs, because we want to collect name, age, and year. At the top here, most people used to do something. I'm going to show you how it's done. Firstly, let's reload our document. Can you see we're having these 3 inputs right here? As you can see, they are empty, but the reason why you see all these things is because I've already wrote something inside some input before, and because of my browser catch some things for me. So, and because this one is not the normal, this is my normal browser now. So I increase it. That's why you are seeing that one automatically generated for me. So now, as you can see, we are having this empty input on default. This is how we are having the input type of text also as the default input type. Let me show you how it goes. Can you see when I reload? We're having what? We're having it as default. So let me bring back the text, input type of text. Let's say we specify radio, input type of radio, and give this one radio. Let's save our document and reload. Can you see what we are having? We are having these 3 inputs, right? So let's get back to the text. The place we are, what we want to really do right now is this. Let's say for instance now we need name. Some people used to write it in this manner, age. So I want to show you different tricks you can do with this. Some people used to write it in this manner. Let me just leave it at that. Let's save our document and reload. Can you see name, age, and year? Can you see? Later they can break it using our br tag. Break it again so that they can stack on top each other. Let me reload. Can you see? Some people also do some other things. Some people will say they want to use div element. No, some people will say they want to use p tag. After the p tag, the second one also they will say, I want to enclose this text inside the p tag, and some people will say, let me enclose the text also inside the p tag. We are going to see how all of it is going to look. Can you see the way they look? Your normal browser, it can look like this. Because I enlarge my screen, that's why you are seeing all this. Let's get going. And some people we enclose this inside what? Inside div tag. As you can see, this div tag, the way it looks inside the div tag. Sorry, I want to copy this. Sorry. Inside the div tag, they have this. The third div tag. They have this. Can you see how it looks when we use it with div tag? And the p tag and the div tag, we don't need to use the br tag when we are using the p tag and div tag with it. When we reload it, we always tag on top each other. And again, we can use something again. What can we use? We can use label elements. Label elements. This for is not useful right now because we don't use it yet. You can use this label element. I'm going to show you some tricks you can perform with this. So please just stay focused. Let's just keep watching this gently like this. I'm sure you are going to enjoy it. So let's write our year also. Let's enclose it with our label tag. We don't want this one. So let's place it there and reload our document. Can you see? So now let's break it. Here tag. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The input tag is where I specify my BR tag just to break the input. Can you see? We're having them stacking on top of each other again. Now, what do we want to do? We want to do some tricks here using our label tag here, the label element here, because we have some benefits. One of the benefits of using this label tag is because of this for. Many people need this. Many people say they need this. So this one, let's say for instance, we specify text inside here. Any text you specify inside this for element here. This for element here is for selecting this P element. Is for selecting the input. I'm going to show you how. You ask me how. Let's say for instance now, you know, if you want to write something inside this input, we have to select the inbox directly like this, but that's not the case. When we use the for element, we can just click on this name right here and it will automatically place the cursor inside the input for us. That is the benefit of using it. So I'm going to show you now. Now this for right here, I've already gave it name of text. You know that it's supposed to show when I use this tag, or it's not going to display when I use only tag. So I'm supposed to specify ID. Let me click on the name. Can you see when I click on the name, it's not taking my cursor, it's not placing my cursor inside the box. So now let's use ID. Let me give the ID just any name. Let me give it text. Let me give it text so you can understand what I'm trying to talk about. Let's reload our document. Now let me click the name. Can you see? The name automatically places my cursor inside. Let's say I want the cursor to come to the H input. So I can just carry this ID along with the value inside it. Come and place this inside this second input. Because anywhere you want it to select, you must have the. Let me click the name now. When I click the name selects the H, the H inbox. Let me delete it from here also. Let me use it with the third inbox so you can see what I'm talking about. So let me click the name. Can you now see? When I click the name, instead of it to place my cursor here, it is placing my cursor inside the year, because we use for elements inside this our name element here, and the ID is inside our input, which is at the year. So one thing I want you to notice is that when I click the name, is only the time the thing is happening. When I click the year, it's not happening. When I click the age also, it's not happening. When I click the year, it's not happening. It's because of the for attribute I place inside my label. So now let's say for instance now I now want to do the same thing with this label also. The second label and the third label, I will write for there. I will write for here also. I'll give this one also attribute of anything. I'll give it the value of anything, sorry. And I'll give this one also value of anything. As you can see, I'm giving it value, and I'll give the input also value as well. Let me give my input value, the first input and the second input. So I want to show you some tricks here again. Please stay tuned. When I click this name, it automatically place my cursor inside this name, right? And I click this here, it automatically taking my cursor to the name. And I click the year also, when I click the year age also. The reason why is that this is computerized, because the name we specify inside the first label is the same name we specify inside the second and the third. Even the input also is the same ID value we specify inside the first input. It's the same ID, the second input and the third input, they are having the same value. So we need to change them if we want this thing to work. You can just say, let's come from the top. Let's just say this one is having, let's just specify it like this one is having 1, text 1, and the second ID we have, the input we have text 1. Let me break it so you can see what I'm doing clearly. Let's say the second one also, you can give it 4 of text 2, and the input ID is going to have text 2. The third one can have label for text 3, label for text 3, and the input ID is going to have text 3. As you can see, label for text 1 and the input ID of text 1, label for text 2 with input ID of text 2, label of text 3 with input ID of text 3. Now let's save it. It's going to work normal as we want. Now when we click the name, it's going to take us to the name. When we click the age, it's going to take us to the age. Click the year, it's going to take us to the year. So this is what I want to show you guys here. It's a very neat trick that you have to know about this. And also one thing again, so that you won't give yourself headache doing this, this input also must time used to take three attributes. The third attribute that used to be inside this thing is name attribute, and the name attribute you can give it any value. You can give it text also, or you give it, let's just give it B. Let's give it B so you can understand what I'm talking about. Let's just write name. Yes, let's give it name. So let's give this second one also name attribute of age. You understand? And name attribute of year. But this year also, because we don't want to specify name on it. So I want you to notice one thing that will happen. It's going to give you something. So one thing, the reason why we use this name most times is when we want to use PHP script or any other script, or you want to use JavaScript, also anything scripting language. So, and also this ID also can work with the JavaScript also anytime you want to use it. So I want to show you how this whole tricks works. Anytime you are using that name, definitely you are going to use it along with action. The action attribute inside the form is going to work with it, like you're having your index file, index.php file. So you want this PHP file to take this name. So the value that this thing specify here is going to directly come through this index.php file from this edge. So from this name also you are going to come one by one. But before that can go anywhere, you can use your input again, another input of submit again. So when we use this, so when we click this submit button right here, our submit button is going to send this name and this name, the name and the age here is going to send it to this PHP file. That's what's going to happen. But this one that is not having name attribute, that this input right here is not having name attribute, this one is not going to send out. Only these two inputs are going to work. So let me show you how it's good. Reload your document. Now we are having what our submit, right? Now let's write name anwar. Let's just write something. Let's write something again. Now this one will go, this one will enter, but this one will not go anywhere. reason why I said this one you will not go anywhere is because we did not specify any name attribute inside the input here. So now let's submit it. Can you see? I'm enlarging. I try to enlarge this page so you can see the error with, but can you see this name is taking anwar, right? The age is taking triple J, right? But we are not seeing the year. So that's the benefit of using the name attribute inside the input. So this name I specify, you can give it anything. So I just probably show it like that so you can understand what I'm trying to talk. You can say, you can write first name if you like, and it's going to display whatever you write there. Let's come back and read our document and resubmit again. Can you see first name is displaying right here, so, and the age is displaying, but the third name is not showing at all. So that's what I want to show you guys for now. So I think we are done for now. Anwar Akorede Ayofe is my name. I wish to see you guys next time. Have a great day and thank you so much. Please make sure you practice because practice makes perfect.